ladies and gentlemen, NCC here today with a match from the newest pack from World of Warships, where we have introduced the British light cruiser tech tree line. Today I'm in the tier 3 British cruiser HMS Caledon. As you can see, I'm top tier and we're on the Islands map, which is a map specifically dedicated to tier 1 through 3. So initial my initial view of the Caledon and the British cruisers in general, I think they're really good ships. I was certainly very enthusiastic about them coming into the game. A few interesting things about the British cruisers compared to other cruisers. British cruisers only have access to armour-piercing shells, whereas all other cruisers in the game at the moment have access to high explosive shells. This makes for an interesting playstyle, because as you will be aware, a ship with the hull boost consumable, which you can see is available here on the Caledon, can repair most of the damage from high explosive shells and from fires. However, what it cannot do is repair damage caused by armour piercing, which means that given the very good quality of the Caledon's armour piercing shells, it makes it very hard for any ship that takes damage from a Caledon to actually be able to carry on the fight. Similarities it has with other cruisers. The British cruisers are by nature very fast. As you can see, their guns also reload very quickly. In the case of the Caledon's guns, I believe it's a 6-second reload without captain skills. But with captain skills, and if the for instance the last stand captain skill at 5 points, that can be reduced to around 4.5 seconds. The ship also has torpedoes, not unlike a lot of the other tier 3 cruisers, the Japanese Tenryu. However, the torpedoes are very short range, 6 kilometers typically. They do reload fairly quickly, around about 40 seconds I believe, but they are very short range, so you do have to get in very close to your target to be able to use them. You have 2 launchers either side of the ship, with 2 torpedoes per launcher. They travel at around about 55 knots, so they're not the fastest torpedoes in the game, but they are still fairly reasonable. And they do an average damage of 10,000 each, so if you can get off a good salvo of torpedoes against any ship at that tier, you can more or less get a devastating strike and just wipe it out with one salvo. So yeah, we start off the game. It's a standard battle. So we start off by heading towards their cap, but as you can see, we come under quite heavy fire, and it's just myself and this Weymouth here at the moment trying to hold this flank. I initially give some thought to firing some torpedoes there, but obviously it's well out of range, so I completely dropped that idea. And I'm just trying basically to hold the enemy ships back while maintaining some distance between me and them to make sure that I don't end up getting absolutely destroyed by their gunfire. So what else can I really say about the Caledon? Yeah, that's the interesting thing with the Caledon. You do actually get given the repair party. You can use the hull boost consumable, which obviously increases your hit points after you've lost some. But like I said earlier on, it only works if you've taken high explosive damage or fire damage. It does not work for armor piercing damage. So something that's going to be particularly important for Caledon captains is that you are going to have to avoid being engaged by other Caledons or by cruisers firing armor piercing, because you are going to take a lot of damage, and there's not going to be an awful lot you're going to be able to do about it. But it does mean that you're not going to be able to repair those. You're not going to be able to gain those hit points back. Whereas if they were firing high explosive, be able to put out fire and then regain, you know, as much as 6,000 hit points at a time with the Caledon. So yeah, it's certainly got an interesting playstyle. What I like about the Caledon most, I guess, is the manoeuvrability. The fact that the rapid firing guns are fairly accurate, as you just saw there with that lovely salvo I got off against that Caledon over there, 2 armor piercing penetrations, and there's the kill for another 4 armor piercing penetrations there. That was a very, very nice hit. But yeah, generally speaking, I think the Caledon's a good ship. I'm kind of glad actually that Wargaming has restricted it to use of armor piercing shells only. I think that's a very nice little twist, because it means that it makes the whole playstyle of the ship very very unique. Obviously later on in the British tech cruiser tech tree at the moment, you have the option of equipping the smoke generator, which you'd normally find on destroyers. Obviously, for those of you who aren't aware, they changed British cruisers to only use armor piercing when they gave them the smoke generators, because they realised that giving them smoke generators and high explosive ammunition basically just meant that the ship was a massively overpowered destroyer, able to just rapidly fire its guns and set a fire from within a smoke screen, remaining completely undetected the entire time. So they got rid of high explosive shells and they brought in just armor piercing. And while the armor piercing is very, very good, you obviously won't be setting fires. You won't have that building up damage after you've, you know, like, let's say you've died and you managed to set someone on fire. You'd be able to do that in other cruisers. You won't be able to do that in the British cruisers, with of course the notable exception of the Tier 7 Premium British cruiser HMS Belfast, which has been given high explosive shells. Funnily enough, with the Tier 1 British cruiser, the Black Swan, her armor piercing shells are actually labelled as high explosive practice rounds, but they are actually armor piercing, so I'm not sure if that was just a slight mistake by Wargaming on the part of the actually writing in the information on the stats, or whether that's genuinely a thing, that the high explosive practice rounds were actually armor piercing or something, in which case, you know, that's kind of what was the Royal Navy thinking. But so yeah, now back to the match. So we're winning. I wouldn't say comfortably, but we are winning by a margin. We've lost 2 ships, they've lost 4. So we're ahead on points. I've scored 2 of the kills for my team. And we've just lost another ship there, Weymouth. But yeah, so I'm now bringing my guns round to bear on this Weymouth, who appears to be driving backwards for whatever reason. Again, this is the lower tiers, so this is the sort of thing you will often come across at the lower tiers. You'll find people driving backwards, and I don't really understand what the idea is with that, to be honest, because the moment you park yourself or you start driving backwards, you make yourself a sitting duck for ships with high caliber armor piercing shells, who will just go and aim at your citadel, and because you're not moving, it's far easier for them to hit you. For those of you who have no idea what I mean by that, if you go and check out, I will put the link in the description below, there is a video of me playing in the Tier 6 Battleship Warspite, and there's a brief clip where a Tier 5 Premium Russian cruiser, the Murmansk, decides he's going to park himself, thinking he's slightly behind an island so I won't be able to hit him, but he parks himself and just starts spamming high explosive at me. And I thought, oh, very nice target, so I fire a full broadside of armor piercing, and I think it was 3 citadels, and just take him out like that. And I end up commenting in the game chat, that's why you don't park in front of a battleship's guns, or you just don't park at all. So yeah, at this point I'm dead now, sadly. I didn't quite manage to finish this guy off, but another member of my team managed to finish him off. So yeah, we're now drawing with the enemy team. We've both lost 5 ships. We have a slight advantage at the moment because we do still have our destroyer, and his torpedoes obviously are a very critical component. It's the Tier 2 Premium Japanese destroyer, the Takibana, which was initially released as a reward ship during a couple of patches back, but you can now buy it for about a £5 on the Wargaming Premium shop. So yeah, not an awful lot really happens now. The game sort of slows up quite drastically. We lose a couple of extra ships, so they're now head-on points. Interestingly, most of our ships are actually on relatively low hit points now, whereas most of their ships have got at least half of their hit points still. But yeah, if you look at the minimap, so at this point, all of our team are now on the northern end of the map because basically the southern end just completely crumbled. As you can see on the minimap now, there's 2 of their cruisers pushing straight into the cap already, and another one will shortly be joining them from the south. And this guy here that we're looking at the moment, Buddha Babel Pool, spots this and immediately rushes back towards the base to try and defend the base. So yeah, he's opened fire on the Weymouth that's already pushing into the cap. That's about 4 kilometers out. And he's scoring some good hits, getting some nice armor-piercing damage done there, keeping himself angled up to the Caledon and the other Weymouth off in the distance over there. Unfortunately, he is showing a broadside to this Weymouth closest to him, and he does take a fairly large hit there, as you can see, and he's now a one-shot, and there he goes. And unfortunately, this sort of becomes a regular thing. Meanwhile, on the other end of the map, the Takibana and one of the other Weymouths manages to secure 2 kills. So it is now not quite as bad a situation, but it is now 4v5. The Takibana and the Weymouth are a long way from our base now. The Weymouth's a one-shot. There we go, he's gone as well. So it's now just our Takibana and this guy in the Tier 2 Russian cruiser, the Novik, left to attempt to win the battle, and it becomes pretty clear at this point that they can't win it. There's 2 of them against 5 enemy cruisers, and I'm not really sure how Takibana was doing at this point. He seems to be running in the northern end of the map there. Novik is also now a one-shot kill, so it's only really a matter of time before everything just goes south. There he goes, he's gone, so it's just our Takibana left now. And to be fair to him, there wasn't really an awful lot he could do at this point. It was only going to be a matter of time before the entire team folded. Unfortunately, this match, as a team, we didn't really use our advantage in having a destroyer on our team. We kind of let the game slip out from our grasp. And yeah, what can I say? To be fair, he probably could have tried capping, but obviously, as you can see from the cap counters at the moment, they are almost 3/4 of the way through capping our base, because there's 1 or 2 of them in there at the moment. So in reality, there was not a lot he could do. So he's just firing off his guns, not something you see a Japanese destroyer doing very often, in an effort to try and reset the cap. But I think he was probably too far away at this point for his guns to reach. So yeah, unfortunately we do lose this battle, which was a shame, but Yeah, the cap counter resets there, by the way, because one of their cruisers leaves the cap. I'm not totally sure why. It only prolongs the inevitable. I guess it was probably people saying in the chat, "Don't cap kill all" or something, which is something you'd be more accustomed to finding in World of Tanks rather than World of Warships. But yeah, takes a nasty hit there from the Weymouth, and because he's firing his guns, he is detected. Takes another rather large hit there. I'm not sure which of the cruisers that was. It was probably the Caledon. Narrowly misses another large salvo there. But yeah, he's living on borrowed time. So yeah, so we lose this match, which was a bit of a shame. But notably, as we'll see in the post-battle stats in a moment, yeah, there he goes. He's gone. So yeah, game over. So as you can see on the damage counter up in the top corner, I fired 54. I got 54 hits, 2 kills, and 27,000 damage, which gives me an overall 1,018 experience. But that's not the base experience. I go to the team score. Base experience of 407 meant that I actually came top on my team by quite a long way. Not bad considering it was actually my first match in the Caledon. Yeah, roughly about 5,000 damage to each ship there, really. But yeah, I managed to make a fairly good profit out of this match, 77,000 credits. So yeah, the Tier 3 Caledon, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, post a comment below, and subscribe for more. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.